Good afternoon, YouTube. You already know what time it is. It's time for another episode of No Mercy Sports, and I'm your host with the most, baby! Holy shit. So much has happened this offseason for football. It was insane! From Tom Brady coming back to the Buccaneers for his 23rd season to Matt Ryan getting traded to the fucking Colts. But we have plenty of time before football starts. We have about 5 months until kickoff. For now, we are taking a different direction because we're playing basketball. We love that basketball. That's right, baby. We're going to the land of basketball because I've been so focused on the football offseason that since the All-Star break, so much madness was happening. What kind of madness? I'll tell you right after the intro. No Mercy Sports coming at you, baby!
Nobody can stop me now.
Man, oh man, the second half of the NBA season has been something else to watch. When the All-Star break rolled around, the top two contending teams in the East were the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat. Further down that list of the Eastern Conference standings were the Boston Celtics, who would have been considered lucky to even make the playoffs at the time, especially with their record and spot at the time. However, since the All-Star break, the Celtics have come roaring back. This fucking team has gone 16-3 since the All-Star break and claimed the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. With this kind of momentum on their side, are they legit contenders to win a championship this year? Honestly, I really believe that whoever plays Boston is going to have a hard time, and I believe that Boston has a good shot at winning the championship this year. They've clearly pulled their heads out of their asses and started playing basketball, and with guys like Brown, Tatum, and Marcus Smart dropping 30, 40, or even 50 points a game, I believe whoever goes into Boston is going to have a hard time. Even the Nets right now are in a 3-0 hole against Boston, but we'll get to Brooklyn and what kind of catastrophe they have had for a season. For now, we're focusing on the Celtics and the wave of momentum they've been riding since the All-Star break. The way this team is playing, I can see them or Miami coming out of the East. I know I said I like Chicago coming out of the East, but Chicago's dealing with a different monster right now, being the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks. However, if Boston comes out of the East, Phoenix, Memphis, or Golden State better watch out because this team is definitely one to watch. Now, let's get to Brooklyn, because where Brooklyn at? Oh, the Nets. Once considered heavy favorites besides the Bucks to come out of the East, now find themselves in a 3-0 hole against Boston. However, why shouldn't they have been the favorites, you know? At the beginning of the season, they still had Harden, KD, and Kyrie Irving. Unfortunately for Irving, he couldn't play home games due to New York's policy of being unvaccinated. However, finally, the mayor of New York decided to pull his head out of his ass and lift the policy allowing Irving to play home games in Brooklyn. Now, the Nets season has been a rocky one, and that is being fucking generous here. From KD being injured for part of it, to Harden being traded to the Philadelphia 76ers, to Kyrie Irving being a part-time fucking player. Although, with KD and Irving back, can the Nets make a run in the playoffs and make the needed adjustments, climb out of the 3-0 hole they're in against Boston and move on in the playoffs? I say hell fucking no. They were lucky to even get past Cleveland in the play-in tournament. But now they're going to have some serious fucking problems to worry about against Boston. Like I said before, Boston has been surging since the All-Star break, and it's showing in this series. Right now, KD and Irving should be focused on doing what they can to at least win a fucking game against Boston. If the Nets fail to win a game and they're down 3-0 this series against Boston, man, the Celtics are going to sweep them, and Brooklyn is right out of the playoffs. We're seeing why Harden wanted it out of Brooklyn, because KD and Irving didn't want to be fucking coached. Kevin Durant and Irving wanted someone who wasn't going to coach them or push them in practice, and they got their fucking wish. To sum it up, they were kids who were looking to find a chaperone, and go on to a much-needed field trip. Nash right now is the Jason Garrett of the NBA. The only thing he's being useful for is just fucking clapping and not pushing the two main stars on the team to do better. This is another failed season for Brooklyn, and if they can't get it right and come away with one fucking win against Boston, the Celtics are going to sweep them in dominant fucking fashion. You heard it here first, people! Oh my god. Now, for most of the season, Miami has been submitting a valid argument to not only compete for a championship, but win it this year. However, on March 25th, an altercation happened between superstar Jimmy Butler, head coach Eric Spoelstra, and Heat veteran Udonis Haslem. Some words were said, and all three started getting into a heated exchange. Now, does something like this affect Miami's chances to compete for a championship, or are the cracks in the shield showing? I don't see something like this slowing down Miami and their chances of winning. We saw plenty of times when LeBron was playing there, plenty of altercations happen. Let's try using words. Did that affect their chances of winning championships? Fuck no! They still went out and won 2 championships in 4 years. They were sitting at the 2 seed in the standings and finished this season at the 1 seed. So I doubt they're honestly worried about something like that hurting their chances of winning. Besides, they got bigger fish to fry going up against Atlanta, who erased a 14-point deficit against Cleveland to nab the 8 seed. I still like Miami's chances of winning. Looking past Atlanta, it's not going to be an easy road for them to get there, though. They need to stay focused, buckle down, and keep their eyes on the prize after the series against the Hawks. Granted, Atlanta won last night and will be avoiding the sweep. However, Miami is still walking away winning this series. Now, it's really between them and the Celtics that I have coming out of the East. Now, this is going to piss some people off, but one thing that needs to be remembered, I don't give a fuck about feelings! Anyways, if you're going to be the MVP of the league, only to move on to the first round and avoid getting swept and go down 3-1, you don't deserve to be called the MVP. Oh, but MVP is a regular season award. It has nothing to do with the playoffs. Me. I don't give a fuck, Keisha. Granted, Jokic is averaging 27, 14, and 8, but with the Nuggets on the verge of losing this series, I would say Jokic has no right being called MVP. For fuck's sake, how are you going to be on an elite list of players winning back-to-back MVPs only to be embarrassed in the playoffs? If Denver and Jokic don't get their heads out of their asses, they'll be taking an early vacation to Cancun, and Golden State will be moving on in the West. Speaking of Golden State, what a series they are having against Denver. Jordan Poole is averaging nearly 30 points a game, while Curry is averaging 25 points a game. If they continue to produce these kind of numbers, the Warriors are looking at a 4-1 win and moving on to the next round. Boy, oh fucking boy, did Memphis decide to pull their heads out of their asses against Minnesota. It's no surprise that Minnesota won the first game of the series against Memphis. They were still riding the momentum from the play-in tournament, and it showed. However, Minnesota's journey is now going to be coming to an end very shortly. The reason is quite simple, too. These stupid fucking idiots blew a 26-point lead in Game 3. Now, I don't know what's dumber. The fact that Patrick Beverley ran up on the scorer's table acting like he just won the championship for Minnesota after the play-in game against the Clippers, or the fact that they blew a 26-point lead to the Grizzlies. To make matters worse, not only did the Grizzlies go up 2-1, I know Minnesota tied it 2-2, but after the game, in Game 3, Morant rubbed it in their faces, throwing the ball up towards the fucking rafters. Now, can Minnesota bounce back after blowing this kind of lead, or is Memphis in the driver's seat? I really think Memphis is in the driver's seat for now. In the first game of the series between these two teams, Memphis wasn't ready for what Minnesota was going to bring to the table. But now that they've finally gotten their shit together, Memphis will more than likely win this series in a gentleman's sweep or in 6 right now. Honestly, it's looking like 6. I don't see Minnesota bouncing back after blowing that kind of lead to Memphis. The Grizzlies are a force to reckon with and shouldn't be taken lightly. They are one of the 3 teams I'm predicting to come out of the West. Oh boy, oh boy. There's always going to be madness in March. So much that if it becomes too much, it will roll over into fucking April. However, when it comes to the NBA playoffs, we get to see who the contending teams are and who the pretending teams are. If certain teams don't make necessary adjustments, they can find themselves on the fast track out of the playoffs. Not to mention going back to the drawing board and making some serious moves during this offseason. Now, as always, I want you guys to leave your opinions about the topics covered in the comments below. Be sure to smash that like and subscribe button to help this channel grow. Until next time, everyone, peace out.